here. Yeah.
Elise is very eager to.
I will put forward a couple of comments, thank you. The first one is, I believe you cannot be comprehensive in your presentation, but when you say that you can focus on areas to improve, since you have a house from an insider, you have experience as an insider in the house, I think you should propose a couple of solutions. Because you say you have to improve this. For example, within TC we could do it so and so. I think this would make it a bit more exciting and show exactly what you can get out of it concretely. One other thing is, maybe, I don't know if the models conceives this or includes this, but we do have some information already available. For example, the reverse appraisal. Okay? So I don't know if maybe, without starting from zero, you could say, okay, within this model, instead of going from scrap, we could imagine integrating some data that we have historical data and see how we can use it within the model, because these are like surveys. I mean, this reverse appraisal is like a survey, so it already answers to many questions because it's based on some other model. And one last comment I would like to put forward is on how you present the data. It can be improved a little, but especially that graph that you showed with the categories, with the 0%, 25%, is very confusing as it is. So I would suggest, for example, that you put in the x-axis, you put only like as a tag, 10% below without putting the tower, and then the histogram you do adjust with your values. Because if not, it's difficult to understand what it is. That it's like, actually it's A, B, C, D. But if you put 100% and then 11%, it takes some time to understand what it is. So when you have limited time to present it, you can do it to make the message go a bit faster, not losing the audience. Thank you.
I have one general comment. I have to agree with Beatrice, and it's probably because I didn't read very well what this meeting was going to be about. I was lost in the beginning as to what exactly this EFQM was, and it was only much later in your presentation until I realized it was a sort of a type of organization that offers their service, and that this did not come across to me until much later in the... So I was then also very interested in having a better explanation of the model. And you said, here it is. And then you started talking about this company that does this and offers this, and you can get these prices, you can get this, and I'm like, wait a minute, let's go back. For me, I would now like to ask you, since this was what was identified in the example that you gave, how would you apply this lack of people, the weakest category that came up? If you could take that, put it back into your model for TCLA. That would be, for me, my challenge to you. That would make it real for me as someone in the audience. Some very small, maybe small. That would explain to me how the model works, what it's about, and then what the organization behind it stands for. Because my first question when it was open to what exactly was the title and purpose of your presentation. A lot of very interesting information, and a lot of effort went into it, but for me as the audience, not knowing what to expect. So, but that would just be if you had more time to do it. I would now be very curious to see you apply that people deficiency, I forgot what it was, to TCLA.
That's
okay, sorry. Thank you.
Now that Meg is talking about the presentation, that probably the structure, you can start the slide like the striking facts, like, some people are pretty conservative, people are really without motivation. And so you start with the results and then you move, and this wakes up like the motivation of the people.
Start with information related to the problem that you are trying to solve. This is important because I understand that you are trying to solve a problem here, that we have a lack of a monitoring or self-assessment system in TC well implemented in all that. I think this is the focus of your work. And also I agree with the graphics, and the graphics are a little confusing, but very good. And also some information of the numbers. Yes, maybe you can use less information and only highlight specific information. That's very good, only to focus in the things that you are trying to highlight, to talk about it. I have a very good perception about many things. For example, I keep with me in my mind to adding value to customers. I think this is an important message from the methodology I try to do. And you said something important. I like it. Simply change to improve. This is also very good. Your your talks, and only a last one about the questionnaires that you made, because you said, okay, this is based on perceptions, and this is a risk of the methodology, because you are basing the information or the presentation of the results based on perception is sometimes subjective. Then maybe we can think about what is the way to avoid this subjectivity in the system. And also talking about innovation. I like the way that you presented to talk about the innovation, but sometimes the innovations produce confusions. Yes, because sometimes we are trying to innovate many things, and instead we generate the benefit, and we can generate confusion. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
No, you have to come. I have a question. You mentioned prices in your presentation. Did you find out what is the price for non-profit organizations?
It's the same.
The same
It's
as
the
what?
same. It's we can go back to the slide. So this is based on the turnover. In the case of the non-profit sector, it's based on the expenditure. Now, I'm not sure if we are here or here, because if we consider the TCF, maybe we have here, we're here. If not, I think we are by 60-something million. I'm not sure. I'm not, because I have to find out how many years will be. And these are annual fees. Yeah? But of course, in order to apply the model, you don't need to be a member of the EFQM. And you can apply the model very flexibly, yeah? As you said, using the already existing data. And you don't even need to assess in the first time everything. If there is something that you are not sure, we still don't know how to assess this criteria, then we just leave it. We still leave it there, because then it makes you think what would be the way to measure this criteria.
These are fees for organization-wide or for individuals? Within the organization?
For organizations.
For the organization, that's cheap.
Yeah, I had a suggestion and a comment. The suggestion was when we were talking about the 8 fundamental concepts. One of those concepts was managing by process. And the explanation you made was that this was a adherence to strategy, I think. And what I was looking for there, and this again maybe is my own bias, is that when I think about quality management, I think about standards. And I think about compliance with standards. And it's something that we in TC are increasingly mindful of, I think. Standards in terms of lead time, standards in terms of how much time to recruit a fellow, to recruit an expert or something. And adhering to those standards, I think, is an important part of quality. So if it is, I think it would probably be part of this model, this is self-assessment and self-awareness process. So if it is, I think that resonates well in the agency. It's something that individuals can say, yeah, this is something that really is, amongst all the things we were talking about, motivation, people focus, measured performance, these are all important aspects. But these are also kind of esoteric things, especially for the agency environment. So I was thinking that you might want to mention standards, and you might want to mention compliance with standards, if I'm correct.
Yes,
what I'm
true.
saying.
Sure.
I defer to